This is what happens with any drug. I don't care what drug you're doing or if you're drinking alcohol, which is worse than most drugs. If you're doing this, you're doing it with other people who are doing the same type she. It's normal, but it's not.
What really helped me was being around people who supported me, and everybody that I knew did bodybuilding.
And so by being around people that supported her, what she's actually referring to is other people who are on steroids. Friends who are competing, people at the gym bros, gym broettes, whatever. They're using Anavar, you're using Anavar, they're using D-ball, the pro hormone pro. You're all doing the same shit. You feel like you're doing something that's normal. It feels like, hey, everybody does this. This is what happens with any drug. I don't care what drug you're doing or if you're drinking alcohol, which is worse than most drugs. If you're doing this, you're doing it with other people who are doing the same type she. It's normal, but it's not. I feel it's normal to do steroids because my entire life I've been friends with people who do steroids. They compete, they go to the gym. Even my followers, a lot of people are into the steroids and so on. And so it doesn't seem odd to me to do steroids. Now, if you talk to my twin brother, steroids, that's something that Greg guy would do. Probably no one else. Like, who does that shit? He's a moron. He's an idiot. He got into that steroids.
Here I am. I'm getting a lot more leaner, a lot more defined. You can see all the muscle that I've put in, even whenever I did the bikini prep. Like, I'm getting pretty solid at.
And so at this point, she switches coaches, and this coach tells her to take steroids. And so you are a lot like what the coach that you hire. If you hire a natural coach, you're likely not going to use steroids. If you hire a coach who's famous for getting people to turn pro, who are on performance-enhancing drugs, you're most likely going to do the same thing. The doses that coaches give, they're very, very much different. For example, myself, I didn't care if you wanted an IFBB Pro card in bodybuilding. 20 milligrams of Anavar was the cap. You aren't going to be doing DECA, D-ball, test, trend, none of that stuff. And SARMs, you're going to be doing them in lower doses and so on. It just was what I did. Other coaches, hey, you're doing bikini, you're on 250 milligrams of test. That's what's going to do it. And so you have to be careful in the coach that you hire. Not everyone has the same risk tolerance as you, and so you need to vet your coaches, ask questions. Hey, what were their clients like? What do they say? Talk to them. Do they have a normal voice? And do your research.
I always forget how hard I work. I forget that all the time. I mean, the proof is in the pudding.
I mean, clearly she hasn't been having much pudding here. Look at her from April 18 to April 19, a 1 year transformation. I mean, it's night and day. Clearly, she's not lying. She's not bullshitting you. She put in the work. She did hours of cardio. She was waking up at 4 a.m, and she was taking steroids.
People at the gym would just come up to me and just be like, you inspire me, and then like people would just want to work out with me. And I did it. I lived in a small town, so.
Do you understand how much dopamine that would release, the serotonin, the way that you would feel when you've been teased your entire life? I don't think people get that. Maybe some of you do. You've been teased your entire life and suddenly there's an out. When you take steroids, people like you. You like you. You look better. You feel better. You're thinking, this is absolutely unreal. You have a bond. You're now in a brotherhood, a sisterhood in this case. You're feeding off each other. You're supporting each other. I'm not going to call it a cult, but it's cult-like. It's like, you need this. She became that girl. The girl everyone's talking about. She's the one that works really hard, that is the bodybuilder. How could she then stop?
I was very happy. Talk about no waste. I really need to get back on it again.
She talking about back on steroids or back into the gym? How did she go off of it? See, that's what I don't understand. People have such amazing work ethic for 16 weeks for a show, perhaps for a few years, 5 years. Why not for life? I mean, I don't want to brag. Well, kind of I do. I started this at 10 and I'm 50 almost, and I keep going and I don't stop. I actually love it. I can't understand how you can enjoy it this much. You're the superstar in your gym, and then you just stop training and you let yourself go. You again regain the weight and you're over 200 pounds. You let your health slide. I mean, I don't get it. If anything, you should be doing even more work now to make up for the fact that you were using steroids in your past. Steroids are bad for you. They're not healthy. Now, if you're interested in getting your blood work taken, I've actually partnered, and more so, I'm an equity owner of AlgoRx. You can get your labs done. And so, for example, in comparison to Merrick Health, The prices are significantly cheaper. You can get your blood work done. Maybe you need Cialis, Viagra. Perhaps you need enclomiphene. Do you need peptides? Are you looking to lose weight, to build muscle, to feel better? They can help you with doctors who are not going to judge you. Maybe you're a bodybuilder, you abuse tren, testosterone, whatever. What do you need? How can they help you out? It's about harm reduction. And so if you're interested, male or female, click the link in the description and code Greg will get you 10% off.
Mental health was bad, but I was up.
Do you know how often people get into using performance-enhancing drugs when things are bad? You're depressed, you're sad, and you're thinking, what can I do with my time right now to distract me? A distraction, steroids, tren, bench press, world record, whatever. You go after it. When you're on steroids, it changes how you think. Mike Israetel put out a bunch of amazing videos explaining how all he felt was rage, the brain fog that he had, that he couldn't feel pleasures that he used to. And it's not just the physical manifestations, but also the mental. When you're a woman taking steroids, it makes you think more like a man. You might become more physical, more aggressive, angry. You change the way that you act, that you behave, that you think. You truly are a different person. I remember Dura was saying, you know those guys who are on tren and their eyes are out of their skull and they're looking around? Some people experience paranoia. And with trends, some people, their desires, what they want to be with, like what they want to hook up with, it changes. Some switch over to men. It's really that crazy. Quick story. I know another girl. She started taking testosterone and so on, and she was a nice, pretty young woman. She went from going to the bar to meeting men and having a good time, being a Budweiser girl, to going to the bar and beating up other men with her fist. Steroids can be bad.
I looked on YouTube, and that's whenever I learned that you're supposed to cycle off shit a lot. And I was told to stay on it all the time.
It really goes to show that you have to take your health into your own hands. You need to be proactive. You can't just rely on some coach who doesn't know what they're doing. How could you be on steroids and or SARMs and not know that you have to cycle on and cycle off? I mean, unless it's HRT, you can't just take things indefinitely. It's going to cause you several problems.
Look how beautiful. I'm gorgeous. Like, oh my God, I'm immaculate.
I mean, she's reflecting on her old appearance and saying, I'm immaculate, I'm gorgeous, look at that back. Yeah, it's a lot of muscle, but it wasn't achieved naturally. And so unless you're on those steroids, on those SARMs, you're going to lose a lot of those gains.
Funny thing about bodybuilding is that you always feel like you're fat. So that was always a mind thing.
And sometimes it's not just a mind thing. You are actually always fat. It's not just bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, it makes it worse. Now, what exactly is fat? If you're a woman over 33% body fat, that to me would be considered fat. It's a medically obese. Like if you looked up various definitions of the term, some people are going to use BMI. I don't think that's a good term because BMI for men and women to be fat is the exact same. But how many of you think that men shouldn't weigh more than women? And so is it really fair to use the exact same scale? And so what I like to use is body fat percentage. And so if you're a woman of over 33% body fat, which is actually about the average female is about 33% body fat, which is in fact overweight, obese. Healthy is about 25% body fat, and so 8% less. And so if you weighed 150 pounds, it's about 12 pounds less than that. Now, for men carry less body fat than women. And so for a man to be healthy, it's about 15%. And if you go to 25% body fat a man, you are obese. It's not as fat as you think. We all have different terms to mean different things, and then it becomes not cool. And so you say it's something else. But guys, if you're a little bit overweight, you're probably not taking years off of your life. But if you're a lot overweight, you absolutely are.
Still working out in my garage on poor hormones. I dipped into Clenbuterol. I dipped into a lot of things.
And so she then got into Clen and a lot of other things. Clen is horrendous for your heart. It's not healthy at all. And so rather than taking Clen, it's going to maybe burn an extra 150 calories a day. Why not just take GLP Max and don't eat those calories in the first place? This is the thing that you don't understand. Calories in, calories out. If the calories don't go in, they don't need to come out.
I took another break After that, I cycled off. I gained some body fat.
As you can see, she then cycled off and she regained a lot of body fat. And so why? And so what happens oftentimes is while you're on the steroids, the Anavar, the D-ball, whatever, you train really hard. But then you're off the drugs and you don't have the same aggression, the drive, the determination, none of that stuff. And so you just let yourself go. You're training half-assed in the gym, or maybe you're not even going to the gym, and you're eating way too many calories. You can't just do that. It's oftentimes an all or nothing approach. Most people don't have balance. That's why maintaining is so important. You always have to be kind of doing something. You can't just give up.
I started to cut for wellness, so I got super lean, stupid lean.
And so her and I's definition of stupid lean is a lot different. For me, this is off-season lean. This is very respectable look for being in the off-season. I think it's a healthy look. I think that that's where you would maintain. For her, it's stupid lean. And so she's competing in wellness. Now, you can compete for fun. I remember, I support everyone to compete. But if you're actually saying, I'm going to take steroids, I'm going to take Anavar, Clen, D-ball, whatever, and I'm going to compete in wellness. To take it that seriously, I do think you should try to get shredded. This is my opinion. You don't have to. But if I were coaching you, I would have said, look, this is not stage ready. If you want to compete like that, that's fine. You're going to get last place. But I think you should put in more work. You probably need to diet for 3 more months.
And I was strong, and I was just on Rad 140 right here.
Rad 140 is a very, very strong SARM. It's stronger than Anavar. And so if you're on Rad 140, realize it's stronger than VAR. And it does come with unwanted side effects. Just because it's a SARM, a selective androgen receptor modulator, doesn't mean it doesn't affect everything. And so if you go and get your blood work done, of course you're going to Algo RX because it's so much cheaper. You're probably going to see your liver enzymes are elevated. You want to check out for, have you done any damage to your kidneys? Because once you've damaged your kidneys, very hard to come back. Liver enzymes, very much more resilient. You can oftentimes get back from that. You've got to take something for your liver, for your body. Of course, you can take liver support. Code Greg, 15% off.
I got stupid lean, crazy amount of lean, and I started to get on Anavar.
It's crazy that she thinks that stupid lean means healthy body fat percentage. 25% plus, which is where she's at, is not stupid lean. It's optimal. It's healthy. In your own mind, it's because you're comparing yourself to before. Now, normally comparison is the thief. If you compare yourself to when you were worse shape and you're better now, well, comparison, you could be the giver or perhaps the donor. You're giving yourself more dopamine, you're feeling better.
If you notice, you didn't see any stage photos. That's because I did not actually ever compete. I just would hire somebody to coach me, and I would go through the prep until about peak week.
She never even competed. All the prep, all the dieting, all the coaches, everything. I think she would have been better off to have taken no steroids and did everything on her own. I mean, look at the results. All those years. Did she train for 10 years almost now? How does she look to you? Did she lose a lot of weight? Did she get healthier? I think she regressed her health. She probably has poor blood work. Perhaps she didn't even get her bloods taken. Imagine the damage that she's done. And for what? To give up during peak week? To not be able to walk? Why not a balance? Remember what I said? All or nothing. This is almost everyone. It's either all in, 2 hours cardio a day, starvation diet, or eat whatever you want. Why can't she have some bouts? How many people think that she's not obese? Do you think she's closer to 33% body fat or 43% body fat? She's over 43% body fat. And so I'm not here to fat shame her, but I'm here to wake her up and to wake you up. Why would you take steroids in order to get a leaner body? That's not what you need. You need to eat fewer calories or burn more of them off. You put the fork down, and if you can't do it on your own, perhaps you can go and see your doctor. You can get Ozempic. If you can't get Ozempic, perhaps you could afford to get GLP Max. And if not, do it on your own. I'm not saying to be perfect. I'm not even saying that she should compete. She absolutely should not compete. She's thinking, will I ever compete again? She hasn't competed in the first place. And so will she ever compete? I hope not. Because if she does, you think she's going to do it natural? Is she going to get back on what she's been eyeing, Rad 140? She saved all her older bottles. She knows what she's been on. She'll probably take them all again and even more in order to lose more weight. All she needs to do to be healthy is to keep doing what she's doing in terms of being physically active, lifting weights, doing cardio, and to eat fewer calories. That is what I recommend. And so hopefully you learned something from this. This story, I'm sure, is much more common than you think. Women who are taking steroids in order to look better, but really all they want to do is lose some weight. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those two bloops. And of course, if you're interested in any of the supplements, code Greg, 15% off. Don't forget about Momentous Clothing. You can click the link for that. Amazing clothing started by Hussein Farhad, Eric Janicki, as well as myself. And until next time, I am out.